So thank you, Li Kang, and let's welcome everyone to our sharing today. So today I would like to tell you guys about the function of our immune system and a little bit of our Elkin supplements, how they will help boost our immune system functions. So basically, to understand it really easily, it can be narrowed down to 3 lines of defense. So it's actually a really complex system, but it can be narrowed down to 3. The first line of defense, which is the most basic function of our immune system, is like a barrier that blocks the entry of pathogens like some germs or bacteria from our body. So what do we rely on? We rely on our skin, the mucus within our nose, our lungs, and our mouth. So the whole system, so the whole respiratory system, so the mucus, it helps it. And also the wax in our ears, and also the tears in our eyes. So these are all tools that prevents pathogens from overtaking our body. But of course, if some of the pathogens were still able to pass through the stage 1, our body would exercise the second stage of defense. So in the second stage, our body would rely on white blood cells. The white blood cells, which are the general immune response, where the white blood cells will go check if there's any pathogens. So if they feel that this is a pathogen, they'll start to surround the pathogen and they will eat up the pathogen. So it means that the white blood cells will surround the pathogens and disintegrate it. But if there are some smarter pathogens that are able to dodge these white blood cells mechanism, then it will successfully infiltrate the body. So we come to the third stage of our immune system. The body would take more time which makes the body will the pathogens will make the body build up some antibodies to prevent the pathogens from coming in. So the third stage is the specific, so this is the body's immune system. It's called the 3-line defense. As we go into the second slide, we can see how within our body, there are 2 different types of response. One of it is our innate immunity, and the other is adaptive immunity. Innate immunity has a rapid response because their function is to eat up the pathogens as they have detected. So they'll remove it. And so whenever they detect it, they'll come immediately and remove it. But if there's some pathogens that are smarter, there's no possible way that the white blood cells to detect it and to eat it up. So the body would start to work where they formulate an antibody to fight away the pathogens. So when they detect the pathogens, they will build up the antibodies so that the next time they encounter these pathogens, they can react faster. So the antibodies will remember these pathogens. It usually takes up 1 to 2 days for the antibodies to build up. It is the same concept for vaccines, as the effect does not come immediately, but with time. Antibodies will slowly build up. That's why when we take vaccines, we have to wait for 14 days so that our immunity becomes better, because this is the adaptive immunity. So these antibodies, they have a memory. So whenever they encounter the same pathogens, they will remember these pathogens and will know how to protect it. So if we meet the same problem, the problem wouldn't be as big because the reaction will be faster as these antibodies have a memory. but this is only for specific pathogens. So now we can see the models of how our immunity cells work. So for the white blood cells, would detect the bacteria or the pathogens. It will start to surround it and then disintegrate it, or as you can say, swallow it. But for the adaptive immunity, so it takes a longer time, but then, so there's white blood cells, but then they are unable to detect it. So there will be a T cells and B cells. The T cells would start to learn about the pathogen and detect this germ, and then it will report back to the B cells and teach the B cells how to fight against the pathogens. So then the B cells can neutralize the pathogens and it will not cause any impact on our body. So that is how we can neutralize the pathogens so that it doesn't have any negative impact on our body. So now let's we'll look at some important questions or some constant questions whenever we talk about alpha hex. So why do we need MIME to balance our immune system? So MIME is the most important ingredient within alpha hex. So why do we need to use MIME to balance our immune system? The answer is simple, because the first thing we need to know is that a normal immune system requires a good immune response. But when we say good, it actually means to achieve balance. If the immune response is unbalanced, it will cause our immune response to be too strong or too weak. The so-called good is so if the response is too strong, the immune system will produce the immune response to harmless substance, which would lead to various allergies and even to like normal things. Like maybe we can say like pollen or to some specific foods, there we will have a little bit of allergies. If there's a response to a harmless substance, when your immune response is too strong, you will be very sensitive to a lot of foreign matters. However, if your immune response is too weak, in addition, an excessively strong immune response can also cause immune cells to attack normal cells of oneself, leading to autoimmune diseases such as paralysis, SLE, lupus erythematosus, rheumatoid arthritis, and so on. However, if the immune response is too weak, the body is more susceptible to diseases as the immune system is unable to recognize and attack tumor cells. So as I said before, if our immune response is too strong, then we will have a lot of allergies, and even to harmless substances, it will be too, they will try to remove it. So you will have a lot of hypersensitive disorders. So some of the cases would be autoimmune diseases, paralysis, lupus erythematosus. So some like we will receive harm if we have too much, if the immune response is too strong, like our skin or if our throat is too strong. So like inflammation, because our immune response is too strong, that's why they'll fight itself. And that is why we have MIME to balance out our immune system so that we can achieve a balanced immune system. So what makes MIME so unique in immune modulation? So what makes MIME unique? The most important thing is that MIME is extracted from a super mushrooms, which is ingredient, which is called acylated alpha glucan, which is a special patented ingredient. Why do we need to use the alpha glucan? It is because the molecular weight is really, really, really small. So the absorption effect is particularly high. So for your body, the smaller the mass, the smaller the molecules, the easier it is for our body to consume it and to digest it. Because it's so tiny, it can consume better and it'll digest better. And then so it helps us get a better result and a better absorption rate. So it increases the production of NK cells. So for acylated alpha glucan, it's as small as a grape. But for the beta glucan, it is also the same as the alpha glucan. However, is 20 times bigger than the alpha glucan. So the only difference between alpha glucan and the beta glucan is the size. Now we're coming to the third question. What are the clinical uses of MIME in improving immune health? So there are more than 400 clinical studies relating to MIME. There's so many clinical studies that I am unable to show it out here. There are more than 400 clinical studies. So they found out that it is used, MIME is used to provide immune health. So like it reduces infection and it shortens the recovery time and increase the survival rate. So it also shows that it can help reduce these disorders, which I am going to list, like asthma, colitis, flu, and abnormal cell growth. So it can all help recover it and reduce and eat up all these cells. So in all, it can reduce the degree of infection, it can shorten the recovery time. So after a lot of research, when they give patients MIME, they were able to recover really fast and they were also able to come out of that sickness healthily with an increased percentage. So if I am healthy today, or if I have no problems, is MIME important? So supplementing MIME on a daily basis can help healthy people maintain a healthy immune system. So everybody's body is the same because cell mutation can happen anytime in our body. So we really need to maintain our body's immune function in order to quickly eliminate any mutated cells and fight off invasions. So At any time, cell mutations can occur. So that is why we need to eat MIME so that we can maintain this healthy immune system. So according to a Japanese clinical study, the number of immune cells in people who are healthy increased by 55% after they supplemented with MIME. Therefore, the average person should also consume MIME on a daily basis to maintain a healthy immune system. So even for some seniors who are 60 years old and above, when they use it, it increased the production of the T cells by 150%. So do you guys still remember what are the T cells? T cells are the smarter antibodies that will, are the cells that will detect smarter pathogens so that they can create antibody to fight off those smart pathogens. So are there any good products that could be combined with MIME for better immune health? Of course, Elkin has a category of products that can also help with our immune system. So like there are other supplements that can also boost our immune systems, like spirulina, like LG6, calcium tablets, ester C, and Kington. So when we talk about the immune systems, the most important thing is to give ourselves a balanced nutrition. So the very first thing we need a balanced nutrition. And when we say a balanced nutrition, we need a lot of different vitamins and minerals. So within the spirulina, there's a lot of vegetables so that we get a lot of the vitamins. So for ester C and IG6, it helps boost the antibodies production. So there's a lot of different elements where it helps with the immune system. It helps with the immune function, and then it also reduces the number of times you get the flu. And then for Kington, there's a lot of research that says that it can increase the white blood cells, which protects your body against virus attack and disease. So if you consume it all together, it can really help enhance your immune system. So this comes to the end of the sharing. So thank you all for